What's up, folks? Good afternoon to bro, Richie Rich here. Today in this video, I'm back with another Fast and Furious Replica video for y'all. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking to y'all about one of the most iconic sports cars in the Fast franchise, and one of the most cool-looking sports cars. So cool-looking sports cars ever. And it's from the first movie, actually. I'm going to be doing two of them, at least. So the first car I'm going to be talking to you all about is the 1995 Mitsubishi Eclipse RS from the first Fast and Furious movie. So before I get started, make sure you all like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, hit the notification bell, and hit all so you literally when I make brand new uploads. Alright, so without any further ado, let's begin. So, right here we got a 1995 Eclipse RS. And let's talk about how they got this car to be in the movie and like what parts they had. For starters, this car was originally owned by John Lapid, and he did pretty basic cosmetic mods to the car. Just basically, it originally was painted Mercedes silver. Well, first it was actually painted dark green, and then he recently painted it Mercedes silver and installed a full Robocar body kit, which was exactly the same kit was in the movie. Along with that, it had an A.K.A. GD2 style rear wing, carbon fiber mirrors, custom roof scoop, hood pins. Not sure what hood pins there were or from what company, but you don't really see cars with hood pins that day. Like, you don't really see cars with hood pins that often, though. So it had a full Robocar body kit that includes front bumper, side skirts, and rear bumper. Along with that, the car had, it was originally supposed to have 19-inch ADR wheels, but those were deemed too expensive. So to cut down the price, the production team spent some money on 18-inch Axis Model 7 wheels, which I believe they still do with 1-piece, 2-piece, and 3-piece wheels. So I'm not too sure if they're available or not, but if they are, then they're probably just replicas. I don't know, but probably. So the car had a full Robocar body kit, A.K.A. GD2 style rear wing, custom roof scoop, carbon fiber door mirrors, 1997 style Eclipse headlights, hood fins, 18-inch Axis Model 7 wheels, and that was pretty much it. Basically, so 18-inch Axis Model 7 wheels, Robocar body kit, A.K.A. GT2 style rear wing, custom roof scoop, carbon fiber door mirrors, 1997 style Eclipse headlights, hood pins, and the car was painted in Kawasaki green, covered in modern image decals. There was a lot of parts on it, but those are the ones that was on the car. So the body kit, hood, rear wing, wheels, all that kind of stuff. Paint, Kawasaki green with modern image decals to it, and all that kind of stuff, and hood pins, blah 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 blah. So it was pretty basic. So pretty reasonable amount of exterior modifications to the car. And for the interior, this was pretty interesting. The interior, pretty much most of the parts these days would be discontinued. For those that are available, they'll be at different websites for different amounts of money. And for the ones that are discontinued, they would be kind of similar to the one that would kind of look alike, but they're just not like the actual one from the movie, but it'll just be a little bit of a different one. So if you're getting a different one, you realize it's not from the movie. It's just kind of like a replica knockoff of the original movie hero car. For the interior, the car had Sparco Milano seats, which was pretty cool because it was black with silver, two-tone, black and silver, which was pretty cool in the movie. Super cool. Not sure if they still do those today at this time right now in 2025. Not too sure, but we'll never know. So, along with that, the car had Sparco seats with 4-point harnesses from Sparco steering wheel, Sparco pedals, and Sparco shifter. Along with that, the car also had a carbon fiber dash trim, just like the Hero Supra had in the first Fast and Furious movie. And the car was originally supposed to have a roll cage, but in the movie it did not have a roll cage because it was pretty much added after the movie. So it had a roll cage after the movie, but in the movie it didn't even have a roll cage at all. So it had Sparko seats with 4-point harnesses, Sparko steering wheel, pedal, shifter, carbon fiber dash trim, so seats, steering wheel, harnesses, pedals as well. It says seats, steering wheel, pedals, harnesses, Sparko shifter, carbon fiber dash trim overlay. Um, so it didn't have a roll cage, but it was added after the movie. And other parts, it had like a video sound system to it, and believe it had a Pioneer head unit. I don't know, but those sound systems are pretty much kind of discontinued. I'm not too sure. And for those, like I said, for those who are still around, they're at different websites, which would be tough to really find to replicate the car in the best possible way as ever. And another thing the car had, besides the roll cage that I didn't really have, in the movie, it was supposed to have like a stage 2 75 horsepower nitrous kit, but in reality, it was just like a stage 1 50 horsepower nitrous kit, which for two reasons. One, it was not really functional. It was like, well, three reasons actually. Like it was never set up properly. It was not it was not even functional. So it wasn't even functional. So it was completely, and three, it was completely fake. So it was a fake nitrous kit, which attended to supposed to have 75 horsepower, but it was just a fake 50 horsepower nitrous kit, which was not even functional and not even set up completely. So besides all the exterior parts, interior, and the fake nitrous kit that was never set up, let's move on to the other parts that the car really had. For starters, let's do performance mods, which not really much to it, and for some that was mentioned in the movie was not even on the car. For starters, in the movie it was mentioned the car had a Turbodyne XT4 turbo kit, but in reality the car was naturally aspirated. It didn't technically have a turbo kit, so that was just completely just nonsense, really. Just BS, just bullshit. So, apologize, but it is true. It was the stuff that they're saying is completely fake. Literally, it was not intended to have a turbo kit. It didn't have a turbo kit at all. So what's the point of mentioning it? The car to have a turbocharger if it was not even turbocharged at all. So it's no really point anyway. So it was mentioned in the movie that it had a Turbodyne XT for a turbo kit, but it was just nonsense. It didn't have a turbo kit. It was just bone stock 2-liter naturally aspirated, dual overhead camshaft, Chrysler 428 140 horsepower motor. Inline 4 was. So it was not a really good engine. It was 2-liter naturally aspirated Chrysler 428 DOHC, so dual overhead camshaft, inline 4 engine, which made about 140 horsepower, so it's not really much anyway. Besides it being naturally aspirated and just having stock nitrous and like no turbo kits at all, it had an engine colder intake system, upgraded spark plug wires, so upgraded spark plug wires, a bored out throttle body, and even had an HKS exhaust system. I'm not sure which one it is though, but it was an HKS exhaust system. So that was the performance parts, which was not really that interesting anyway. So it didn't really have much performance parts, and it was just basic bolt-on mods, and that was just it. Yeah, exterior, just body kits like Axis Model 7 18-inch wheels. It also had polyurethane bushings, polyurethane, sorry. It had Tanabe SS springs and energy suspension bushings, and had a standard 5-speed manual. So it was not that much, anyways. So nothing too fancy or interesting or any like exotic in any type of way or anything like that. So a full Replica body kit, Axis Model 7 18-inch wheels, APR GT2 style rear wing, custom roof scoop, carbon fiber mirrors, modern image decals, Kawasaki green paint, HKS exhaust system, and a green neon underglow kit as well. Just colder intake system, throttle body, spark plug wires, exhaust, and that was just pretty much it, really. So, and like seat, steering wheels, shifter, carbon fiber trim, 4-point harnesses, and just basic bolt-on mods. Just the car really had, anyway. So just nothing really interesting or just fancy at all. Just nothing too like not too not sinister, but like not really that interesting, really. And the car had like a computer on it next to it, which was NOS, which said like NOS Program 2.0, which now basically it was intended to have a stage 3 nitrous kit. Now that is just the worst idea. Like, what's the point of adding a 3-stage nitrous kit if the car is just naturally aspirated and making like 140, 150 horsepower? Like, you would need to put a bunch more parts through, like air intake, turbos, intercooler, exhaust, apex seals, all that kind of stuff. But it is what it is. And the car also had gritty. It even had gritty gauges to it. I'll show you right now. Right here. These are the 2 gauges that I didn't realize they had. Like, I double checked in the movie and it actually had those gauges, or it was just I don't know. So yeah, the car had video. Also, for the interior parts, the car had video gauges, like the speedometer and all that kind of stuff, tachometer, Pioneer head unit, like, say, not head unit, well, Pioneer sound system, I think. I'm not too sure. Say, gritty temperature gauge and gritty turbo gauge, but there's no point in putting a turbo gauge if the car is naturally aspirated, so there's no point in that at all. So just leave it be. Just leave it. Literally, come on. But if you want to do a replica, that's totally up to you. I'm not judging you or anything like that. You can do it however you wish. It says sparkle seats, steering wheel, shifter, pedals, harnesses, gritty gauges, temperature gauge, turbo gauge as well. And the car also, so yeah, it says seats, steering wheel. It says sparkle seats, 4-point harnesses, steering wheel, pedal, shifter. Just, yeah, a bunch of stuff. Yeah, just seat, steering wheel, pedals, shifter, 4-point harnesses, fake nitrous can. Now it's just pretty much a really sound system as well. And for the gauges, now I'm not too sure what company would make these kind of gauges. Um, the gauges that the car had in the movie were from a company that I think was still available, which is long gone. I think it's called Extreme. Now, it had an extreme tachometer. So it had an extreme, so extreme tachometer, so like the rev gauge, and the car also had just quick. The car also had an odometer speedometer. Now, I'm not sure if the speedometer is still available or maybe discontinued. I'm not too sure, or it might be available just in different markets and different websites for like car parts and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. So I had an extreme tachometer and an odometer speedometer. Now, the next part that I'm not sure where the floor pan. Which you can see right here. Right there's the floor pan, and there's these screws. Now, with it ricocheting like this, is like, I mean, look at this. This is suicidal. I mean, at high speeds, it just fly out, and Vince, like, Dom's feet would just hang out like Fred Flintstone style almost. And technically, I'm not sure what companies they would do these kind of like floor mats. I'm not 100% too sure, but if there was a company that would do for a replica car like that, I would personally buy one. I don't know, but so that was pretty much a bunch of parts that it has. Underglow kit, body kit, wheels, suspension, standard brakes probably, or just fake brakes like the Jetta had. So yeah, painted Kawasaki green. It was nothing too fancy. It was one of the most iconic cars in the franchise. Literally one of the most iconic cars in the franchise. So yeah, and the best car in the franchise as well. So yeah, and body kit, wheels, suspension upgrades. Not that much, but at least it has something of it though. So body kit, mirrors. What else? So roof scoop, wing, exhaust, spark plug wires, intake, just basic bolt-on mods. Just exterior, a little bit performance parts, and interior upgrades like seat, steering wheel, paddle shifter, carbon fiber dash trim, the same as what you get on the Supra from the first movie. So I had just seat, steering wheel, paddle shifter, carbon fiber dash trim, 4-point harnesses. I believe the car might have sparkle brackets. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure what tires they are, but I believe they are Toyo tires, Toyo Proxies. I think I'm not too sure. T1S, T1R tires. I'm not too sure. But whenever the tires were there, it was quite cool. Now let's get on to the last part of how they got the Eclipse to blow up. Actually, what they did is they had like a couple Eclipses for the movie, and they ripped out like technically a bunch of stuff like the original Chrysler 428 engine, which is just the worst. I mean, a 4G63, yes, with a turbo from even like 400 horsepower would be cool. But a Chrysler 428 with 140 horsepower, 2 liters, just doesn't cut the ice for me. Literally, just not the best engine for an Eclipse like that. I mean, if I was to get an Eclipse like that, I would literally do an engine swap. I would literally install a 4G63 into it. Literally one of the most badass and greatest engines in the world. Perfect. But I would choose one of those engines besides a crappy, pathetic, shitty Chrysler 428. Excuse my language, but literally the Chrysler 428 is not like the best engine in the whole world, and people will agree with me. It is the worst engine in the world, and those people saying it aren't, we disagree with you guys. The 428 is not like the best engine. I mean, 4G63, yes. 428, no way. What was the point? Like, what was the point, first of all, to get an Eclipse like with a 428 engine? That just makes no sense at all. Like, what is the point in that? Just honestly, just no point at all. But whatever. I mean, they had like replica Eclipses anyways, so like most of them were sold. Most of them were just like scattered around, and most were sat in museums. Like the blown up Eclipse. The last place I know that it was sold was at a museum in Tennessee. I think I'm not too sure. It was the blown up Eclipse, the one that Johnny Tran shot, and his cousin Lance shot to pieces and blew up. And speaking of that, we're gonna talk about like the first couple differences I want to like make sure like I find out. First being when Brian arrived at Dodger Stadium. Now take a look at this, and you see the difference. I'll show you two pictures of what I'm talking about. So, first off, is when Brian was approaching Dodger Stadium. Now, spot the difference. I'll pause it real quick. And you would see the difference. And I'll show you another shot, which is also different as well with the car. And it's essentially the same car, just kind of identical. Like they use a couple replica Eclipses anyways, so like for the movie. Now, I'll pause at the shot right now. Is that paused? Take a look at this. See? You you notice the difference? Yep. Right around there, somewhere in there, the car is lowered. So it was lowered at this shot. So that part it was lowered when it arrived at Dodger Stadium. And after that, I'll show you another shot of it being a little bit different, actually. So, first shot was when it was when it was lowered. Now this shot right now shows the car when it's raised up. You can tell because of the difference because the ride height has changed actually for the car. So the first shot it was lowered. Second shot when the Eclipse was driving away, it was raised up, so the suspension was a little bit higher. God, it literally looks cool. I mean, just honestly, does this Eclipse look cool or what? I mean, come on, you can't argue with that. I mean, literally, it literally looks super damn cool. I mean, come on. I mean, does this Eclipse look cool or what? I mean, does it look cool? Let me know that. Let me know down. Let me know down in the comments what you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this Eclipse because I literally think it's a really cool car. I would buy a replica Eclipse like this. I'll just get a standard RS Eclipse because this car was owned by John Lappin actually, and his car was an RS Eclipse, not a GS. It was just an RS. So I'll get an RS Eclipse from 1995, 1996, I think it was. I can't remember. And I'll modify it to look like the replica Eclipse like that. And what I would do with that is basically a bunch of cool stuff. I'll do the movie spec of this car. As for the engine, I'm literally gonna do an engine swap to it. The engine I want to put in is obviously a 4G63, because obviously like they do really good engines. I mean, like the best is obviously 4G63, and they do VG engines. I'm not too sure, like the V6 and the 3000 GT. Either that or a 4G63. You know what, screw it. I'm gonna take a 4G63 because in the movie it was inline 4, and realistically, the car was inline 4 as well. So 4 cylinders. In the movie it was naturally aspirated. Well, it was claimed to have a turbo kit, but it was, yep. So in the movie it was quoted it was turbocharged, but in real life it was just naturally aspirated. Now, let's talk about how they got the Eclipse to blow up. Last part, and I'll end it there, and I'll move on to the next part of the movie for the cars. So, how they got the Eclipse to blow up? Well, let's take a look. After Johnny Tran and his cousin Lance and his crew got back, what they did is this. They gutted the car, like everything, engine, transmission, gas tank, everything. And they shut the car, like they tinted the windows so you couldn't really see most of the interior. And they attached the doors with cables to prevent the doors from flying off. And as you can see right here, the Eclipse was about to blow up. So, like I said, how they got the car to blow up, they tinted the windows, took out every single thing, and basically it was like everything was out. Engine, transmission, gas tank, every single component was out. And they tinted the windows so you wouldn't see most of the interior. And I believe they used like flamethrower kits. I'm not too sure like what they used to get the Eclipse to set on fire or to blow up. But yeah, as you can see, like the most of the interior, you can see a little bit of interior. Like you see the steering wheel right there. You can tell like see the shape like steering wheel right there. And they gutted everything out of there, like engine, radiator, intercooler or something. Well, radiator because it was not even turbocharged; it was just naturally aspirated. So they gutted everything out. Most of the interior, fuel tank, transmission, engine and also like the electrical parts as well. And how they got the Eclipse to blow up is pretty kind of interesting. Like, I believe they used like some propane tank or something. I can't remember what it was, which would produce like enough chemicals that would just explode like almost like a keg of beer almost. So seeing this car blow up is just like the worst ever in the world. I mean, take a look at this. And with the blue NOS, it just looks crazy. Look at this. And yeah, like if you see the doors flapping, that's what they use to to prevent the doors from being detached. So it wouldn't like fly off and all that kind of stuff. But it was just a replica car. It wasn't actually the real hero car. Because if it was, that would be toast. Like literally, that car would have been toast. But thank God they used the replicas. Because if they used the real ones, that would be the end of those. And literally just like the worst experience ever to see hero cars being destroyed. And that is pretty much it for this car. So that was the video of the 1995 RS Eclipse. And you're probably wondering where those cars are. Well, the original hero car was owned by John Lapid, but unfortunately John Lapid passed away. I think it was 2018, 2019, or 2020. I can't remember, but there's but I heard Craig Lieberman say that John passed away. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure how or when it happened or anything like that. But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, may rest in peace, John. We miss you, buddy. Wherever you are in the world right now, so wherever you are in the world right now in heaven, we'll always remember you, buddy. And your passion for cars and your legacy will live on for life. You may be gone, but we will always remember you, pal. May rest in peace. I don't really know the correct praying method, but this is the main ones I can think of. But yeah, so you're wondering where those cars are now. It's unclear, like unknown that like I don't know where exactly the hero cars, like the hero cars, or even John's car is. But what I do know is that the wrecked Eclipse, the one that was just blown up that I just showed you, since the last time I heard, it was in a museum in Tennessee, I think. I'm not too sure. But presumably that car is probably gone or something. I got no clue. No clue at all. Like, at all. So, and not sure what manufacturer they would make those hood pins, because those look pretty damn cool. But yeah, I don't know. And it is cool, like those hood pins there. Anyways, guys, so if you guys like this video, like and subscribe, comment down below what you guys think. Hit the hit the notification bell and hit all. So hit all so you'll notified of when I make brand new uploads. All right, so that'll be it. I'll see you guys a little bit later in the next video. But until then, stay safe. Have a great afternoon, and have a great rest of the day. Have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you guys a little bit later for the next video. So take care, folks. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace out, fellas.